Homeschooling. It may be something you've thought about or would like to do. Well, I did it with my son, and I want to share my experience with you, my experience of homeschooling my son. And today I have no script. I didn't take any notes for this. It's just going to be a completely impromptu. I usually like to have some notes to refer to because my mind wanders. But I just want to share openly with you about how I did it. My son was having some problems concentrating in school, and he was not what I would call being bad, but they consider it bad when you talk too much or you're tapping or fidgeting and not able to pay attention. So we tried different things. We tried the 504 program with him, which made him even feel worse. So he did worse even after that. And I tried two different private schools. They didn't work out. Private schools are not always what they're supposed to be. And I'm not knocking anybody's schooling system or anything that works for you by any means. I'm not knocking public school. It's just that they have a lot of children, and it's hard for them to keep up. And you can't really specialize on one child that's behind or that needs extra time to do things. So by the time he was in about halfway through the 8th grade, I kind of had it out with some of the staff in a nice, no, it wasn't in a nice way, sorry. But anyway, I said, what the hey, I will do it myself. So I started researching. I took him out that day. I started researching and came up with everything that I needed to do it. Not immediately, of course, but I just got started. And the first thing that I had to do was get the letter of intent from the Board of Education in our county. So that's what I did. I went and got the letter of intention that tells the Board of Education in the county that you are going to be homeschooling your child. And it tells them from what time period to what time period. So I just got the regular public school schedule, and I went by that. I just did the 180 days. I went by their schedule. We took the holidays they took. That was the easiest way for me to do it. That way he could be off with other family and friends when they were off too. And so it kind of synced up. So I just wanted to share with you his book, because he was successful. When I started teaching him at home, he just started to flourish. And I could see at that point that he was indeed a very intelligent child and just needed extra attention. And I understand how they can't do it. And I didn't have to have a lot of money for this. I used, I will be telling you what I used, but I used some free programs. I did my own lessons. I made my own lessons also. I also added my own extra things like music class. He took a drum class. He got music credits for that. But anyway, let me show you his book. And I have his permission to share this. So he's an adult now, and I did ask his permission to share, and he said he didn't have any problem with sharing. So this is his book. His name is Timothy Green. This is his class of 2020, and that was the class where we couldn't get together and do things, during that time period. So we just sort of, and he was, not the kind of person who, was big into that anyway. So we just celebrated him at home. This is his book that I made for him. It has all of his information for his entire high school year. I made a table of contents page, and the table of contents was pictures, letters of intent for each grade. You have to do it every year. His official transcript, which I made all this. My daughter helped me with some of it. I have a copy of his diploma in here. I have his curriculum, high school curriculum course descriptions, which I wrote myself. I had to write the descriptions for each course because you will need this for college if you go to apply to colleges and things like that. They have different criteria for homeschool children, but I made sure to follow all of that also when I was preparing his paperwork. Certificate of Alcohol and Drug Abuse Awareness Program that he took. a certificate of driver education. He took 30 hours of virtual classroom instruction on that, and he also has extra credit work in here. So I did a little brochure for him, and that was cute, I thought. I have pictures of him in here. There he is playing drums in the studio. We would go for hikes. And on the hikes that we would go on, we would go to historic sites and learn things about the area. You know how they'll have a plaque up. I had him to read those and study those. And I just have a lot of pictures of him, and I allowed him to be himself in the homeschooling process. And I even allowed him to fidget while he was learning. I love this picture because he is really focused in there, really studying hard right there. And he has all his papers and out. That's one of my favorite pictures. And just, you know, lots of things. There he is at the MARTA station, going on a little trip. We would go out to the lake sometimes, just take breaks and go to the lake and things like that. It was just very fun. We took a fishing day. We went fishing together. So we did that. We went fishing. So things like that. We did when we had in 2017, the solar eclipse, we did the old-fashioned pinhole project together. That was fun. Here we are together. Everybody laughs at that, but I don't care. Anyway, that's kind of Mom and Sunday when we did the solar eclipse thing. So anyway, that's that. He took a field trip to Valdosta State University, worked in the lab with the, let's see, what does it say? He worked in the lab with the director of the lab and used the 3D printer, so that was a good experience. We also studied and did some classes in the library there. So, and these, I'll take these out. This is what the letter of intent looked like. Okay, this is for the state of Georgia. And you just have to have this big number down there. That's the number that they give you, that gives you your permission and legalizes everything that you're doing. They also have to have that number for the driver's license, like when they go to get their learner's permit and things like that. So, and then this is the way the transcript looks. I have an updated version because he actually has more credits than this one says. But that's what it looked like. I designed this myself. Yeah. And here I will show you the actual diploma. This is his diploma that we ordered. And I'm so proud of this. I think I'm the most proud of it than anybody in the whole family. This is the high school diploma that he got. Thank you, Lord. It was not easy, but it was not what you think. You know, it's all doable. The only not easy part was just sometimes he didn't want to do his work. Or sometimes, you know how teenagers are. They just don't want to do it. They don't want to do what you say. And these are the course descriptions. I won't go through all of those, but this is the format and how I wrote them up for each grade. So had that. I just wanted to be completely documented so that when a college came along, if he wants to go to school, and he did apply to some things, now he has a career with the county, one of the counties around. So he's working on a good career now, a good government job. So I'm happy with that. He went through jobs, you know how they do. You know, when we all did when we were young, you do different jobs, you work here, you work there for a little while, and you gain some experience and then finally find what you want to do. So yeah, so that's how we did it. I have also in the book, I have some of his book. I have extra credit courses that he did. And this book, it's huge. You can see how big this book is. This is samples of his work, written work on paper, old-fashioned written work on paper that I have for grades 9 through 12. It's just samples from each grade. Of course, there's piles and tons of paperwork everywhere, but this is a book that I compiled of some of the most interesting work from each grade that I did. And this is all, you know, it's in sections by grade and labeled, so you can easily refer to see that. But I just wanted to share with you that, you know, you can homeschool your child. It's not that difficult. It just takes some time and some dedication and being able to work with your child. When you homeschool your child, you get to give them one-on-one. And he ended up with a very good grade average, and because we could work on everything. If he didn't understand a subject, chemistry, he never did want to do. Oh my goodness, we barely got through that with a C. But anyway, that's the one that brought the average down. But everything else, he just excelled in, especially history. He loved history. I was able to include more extensive Black history in there and Native American history, the things that school doesn't spend any time on. I was able to include that. Now he can tell you a little bit more about that, you know. Like I said, I am not knocking public school. I think it's great. I think if you have your child in public school, that's wonderful. And if that is working for you, God bless you. And it just wasn't working for me. So that's what we did. I just wanted to share that with you. If you have any questions for me, of course, every state is different in their requirements, but I'm in the state of Georgia, and I went by the state of Georgia's rules to do mine. And there were not that many rules, frankly. So I did it. And I used Easy Peasy All-in-One Homeschool. I used that one a lot. That is a free one. There's a lot of free ones that you can do. I also used my own lessons, the music lessons. He did some music theory lessons. I made those myself. I sent him away to drum classes because I don't know how to play drums. So he did very well in there. That's now his favorite instrument is percussion and drums. He also plays guitar very well. But that was, yeah, we did that. I didn't send him away for that. I taught him what he knows in that, and it's not theory, it's just what I know. But he did learn some theory and on the piano and in music. So that was an extracurricular one for him. We did other projects too. He took extra classes, like he took an oceanography class that he really super enjoyed. He can tell you a lot about the ocean now, and he enjoys doing that, and he enjoyed history a lot. But anyway, I could go on and on, but I just wanted to share that. If you're feeling like you wish you could do that, but you're afraid to do it, don't be afraid. Just jump in and start doing it. You don't have to be perfect right away. You don't have to have everything lined up, ready to boom, you know, perfection. You can just start. And that's how I did it. And as I went along, I got more, you know, knowledgeable about it. It was a learning experience. Sometimes I had to take the lesson myself the night before because I couldn't remember certain things, especially like algebra class or, you know, classes like that. So I would have to take the lesson the night before and then present it to him. But a lot of it was also computer, online lectures and things. So also, what was I going to tell you? Also about, anyway, yeah, just try it. Just start doing it. If you have any questions for me, I would be glad to answer them. If you want to drop them down in the comments, and just go start researching if you want to do that. And let me know what you think. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.